Yes, sir. My Trigger back up in this thing, man. Today, I hope y'all ready to go in, man. Today, I'm reacting to some creepy TikToks that'll probably make your anxiety spike. But before we hop into that, man, go ahead and spam that like button right now so you can run the numbers up on the algorithm. You ain't even got to think about it later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button, man. Join the community. The community's so lit, man. To everybody that subbed so far, guys, thank you for helping me build this from the ground up, man. It's so beautiful to watch, man. But let's hop into the video.
Lucifer.
Sheesh.
I don't know what she thought was going to happen when she entered a haunted maze, but she did her safety call out and the nice man stopped the scary ride. But the guy behind her did not get the memo.
Serial killer facts that'll haunt your nightmares. Part 5. When Peter Curtin was just 10 years old, he had his first sexual experience with a goat, and the years that followed, he would regularly do it with other farm animals. At age 13, he killed his first person and would murder over 60 more. In the 1910s, Bela Kiss killed 69 people and tried to pickle them. And when police found their bodies in barrels, they had puncture marks on their neck and they had been drained of all their blood. Pedro Rodriguez Filho killed 71 people both in and out of prison. He was released a few years ago and now has a YouTube channel where he makes fishing videos. Cannibal killer Albert Fish enjoyed shoving sewing needles in his pelvic area while he touched himself. And before his execution in 1936, a medical examiner found over 30 needles in his pelvis. Andrei Chikatilo, better known as the Rostov Ripper, was originally captured but had been released due to a 1 in a million genetic condition that caused the blood type in his sample to be different from the blood type in his semen.
These people still locked up over parking tickets, and my man's killed 71 people and got released. I didn't see a shadow on the fridge.
Cosas que los humanos debemos ver antes de morir, parte 40.
Jugando aquí con mi hija y con mi sobrino. Aquí estamos. Y de repente se puso Alexa y está haciendo estos ruidos. Ay, no. Se abrió la puerta. Métanse abajo de las cobijas. Métanse abajo de las cobijas. No me... Se abrió la puerta. ¿Vivi? Alexa, ya cállate. Amigos, Alexa me está hablando otra vez. Alexa me está hablando, amigos. ¿La ventana? Ahí está el jardín. No mames, no mames, no mames, no mames, no mames.
That's fake, but creepy. Shit might be real.
A mysterious tradition that is pure horror fuel. One tradition can be a bit more unusual than the other. On a small island named Ameland in the Netherlands, each year on the 5th of December the island is covered in a veil of darkness. On this day the locals celebrate the tradition of Santa Claus. When the clock strikes 5 o'clock the lights in the streets get turned off and women and children have to stay indoors. The men of the island wear scary masks and costumes and walk the streets with long sticks and blow horns. Tourists are advised to stay away, and when women are spotted on the street they risk getting hit with the sticks by the men. Because this tradition is veiled in secrecy, the exact origin is probably only known to the islanders themselves. Tourists are not welcome and camera crews will be intimidated and forbidden to visit the island during this event. What is this for tradition? What do you think about it?
Horrifying websites on the internet that you should never visit, Part 1. GoodbyeWarden.com gives the last words of 565 Texas inmates who were executed on death row. And some of the statements are absolutely gut-wrenching, with many asking someone to take care of their children when they're gone, and others insisting upon their innocence. Deathdate.info is a dark, morbid site that asks you to enter your name, age, weight, and height before spitting out the exact date that it thinks you're going to die. The site also provides you with 3 words that it says will be related to your death in some way. PlaneCrashInfo.com has an extensive database filled with recordings, pictures, and transcripts of the final moments of a plane crashing. And MidnightInTheDesert.com has unedited footage of the 67 exorcisms of Annalicia Mikkel. And trust me, her demonic screams will haunt your nightmare.
I wanted to kill my mother since I was 8 years old, and I'm not proud of that. A month later, I'm up living with my grandparents in the mountains, and 10 months later, I murdered them. It made it worse to be on top of a mountain. I was literally on top of a mountain when it happened. And I sensed everybody in the world just stopping what they were doing, turning around, saw what I did, and are coming to get me. And I knew I was paranoid at that moment. I knew anybody that came up there and gave me a funny look or a fishy eye or quizzical look, I'd have blown their brains out thinking they were coming to get me. And if it had been in a city, I would have been a mass murderer at age 15.
Hey, some people are just born wired different, man.
When police arrived at this abandoned funeral home, they were met with a real-life horror film. A rotten corpse was left on the embalming table, leaking onto the floor of the F and M McClendon Funeral Home.
It's disgusting.
The owner was sent to jail for not disposing of 3 corpses around November 2010. Another corpse was found wrapped in blankets in this casket. The owner has since been released from prison, but the horrors here still live on.
Wicked.
What are causing these strange lights, UFOs or spirits? The Brown Mountain Lights are a phenomenon that has been observed in the Brown Mountains of North Carolina for over 100 years. The lights are described as strange, ghostly orbs that appear in the night sky. They range in color from blue to yellow to white, and they move and dance in the sky. The cause of the lights is still unknown. Many theories have been proposed to explain the Brown Mountain Lights. Some people believe that the lights are caused by natural phenomena, such as swamp gas, while others believe that they are the ghost lights of the Cherokee Indians who lived in the area. There are also theories that the lights are caused by UFOs or even time travelers. Many people have reported experiencing a feeling of unease or even fear when they see the lights, leading to speculation that the lights may be connected to some sort of paranormal activity. Despite over a century of research, the cause of the Brown Mountain lights remains a mystery.
Hey, I never heard of the Brown Mountain lights, but let me know if y'all ever experienced that, if you ever been in the Carolinas or live in the Carolinas, man. That's pretty trippy.
Is this mummy actually blinking? Deep in the Italian catacombs, a mystery lies hidden behind a glass case. This is the body of 2-year-old Rosalia Lombardo, who died of the Spanish flu in 1920. Her father, in a moment of despair, asked a taxidermist to preserve her body as perfectly as possible, and preserve her he did, down to her hair, skin, organs, and even her eyes. But something strange has been reported by visitors to the catacombs. One day visitors reported seeing the girl blinking several times a day. Despite the disbelief of many, reports of the child's blinking eyes persist. A documentary team was called in to investigate, and they captured what they believed to be the explanation. It's an optical illusion caused by lighting and temperature fluctuations throughout the day. The mystery of the blinking mummy may never be fully solved.
Why do they always have a mythical explanation for everything, bro?
We are living in a simulation. The simulation theory was first proposed in 2003 by philosopher Nick Bostrom. Bostrom predicted that there is a good likelihood that humanity as a whole will advance to the point where we can mimic our ancestors in a simulation, just like we do now with computer games. Bostrom gives 3 alternative explanations and argues that at least one of them is almost certainly true. The first, we're living in a computer simulation. The second, advanced civilizations have no interest in simulating us. And finally, civilizations are destroyed before they reach capabilities of simulating consciousness. Bostrom proposed that we could be living in one of the thousands of simulated realities, at the mercy of whoever is out there running the simulations. The point of submitting 3 hypotheses is that Bostrom argues that one must be true. So what if?
The craziest celebrity conspiracy theories. Queen Elizabeth II. Number 1, Queen Elizabeth. As crazy as it may sound, there are some people who believe that the Queen was indeed a lizard. Not only that, but apparently she wasn't alone. She was said to be one of many lizards along with George W. Bush, Hillary Clinton, Bob Hope, Taylor Swift, and Beyoncé. The whole thing came about from popular British conspiracist David Icke. Icke has decided that tall, blood-drinking, shape-shifting reptilian humanoids from the Alpha Draconis star system spawned on Earth, and their remaining relatives make up the influential ruling families, including the British monarchy. Icke even went as far as saying that the snake in the Garden of Eden was not a snake but one of these very reptilians. It seems he has also gathered quite a fair following and often preaches to crowds of over 4,000 people. According to a 2014 poll, 4% of Americans believe this conspiracy theory. But the question is, do you? For more?
Hey man, somebody in the comments right now, put the reptilian shit to bed, man. I don't have no opinions about it. I don't really do much research about it, but what do y'all think about the reptilian conspiracy?
You do not wear red. In the 1940s, a series of mysterious disappearances occurred in Vermont, in an area known as the Bennington Triangle. 6 people disappeared, one after the other. What seemed like a strange coincidence was that all 6 were wearing red. Glastonbury Mountain is at the center of the triangle.
That is
6
weird.
persons went missing in the area between 1943 and 1950, and none of the cases were ever solved. What was the same for all of them was that they all disappeared into thin air, and they were wearing red. The Bennington Triangle has a history of UFO sightings, Bigfoot attacks, and Native American curses. Many people also claim that the area is a window to another dimension because of the many strange occurrences. Due to everyone eventually choosing to move, the town has become a ghost town. But although the town is completely deserted and abandoned, a series of mysterious deaths continues. However, if you ever visit Glastonbury Mountain, just make sure that...
This is the haunting story of Jeff the Killer. Jeff was a young boy who moved into a new home with his family. One day, 3 teenage boys decided to attack Jeff and his brother, but Jeff managed to fight them off, leaving them in the streets with broken wrists and knife wounds. Unfortunately, after the incident, Jeff realized that he genuinely enjoyed inflicting pain and suffering on others. Later that night, Jeff's mother began to hear a strange noise coming from the bathroom of their house. It sounded like someone was crying. When she entered the room, she found Jeff carving a permanent smile into his cheeks, and she also realized that he had cut off his eyelids so he wouldn't have to sleep. Jeff's final words to his mother were, "Mom, you lied," after which he murdered his entire family and disappeared into the night. He was never seen again, but legend has it, he's looking for his next...
Hey, my man's had severe mommy issues, boy. Crazy.
Bring audio recordings that'll make your skin crawl, Part 1. American bear enthusiast Timothy Treadwell spent 13 summers living with grizzly bears until one day, him and his girlfriend were mauled to death by one. The following audio was from their final moments during the attack. In Russia in 2012, a brick fell out of the back of a truck and broke through the window of a car, killing a 29-year-old woman named Olga. Her husband was driving the vehicle and immediately rushed her to the hospital, where she died of a brain injury.
Man, that makes me never want to drive again, bro.
Are we living in the Matrix? Imagine this, you are just about to pass away. You've done everything that you've wanted to do. Then you close your eyes, knowing that your time is up. However, when you open them, you discover that you are not in heaven or hell, but rather in the year 3000. You have received a notification that you have just finished a simulation of the exciting primitive 21st century. You are no longer the age you were when you passed away, but rather 17 years old and ready to play again. It may seem a bit far-fetched, but scientists have stated that this is a very real possibility and that there is almost no chance of existing in the real world. Just consider how far we've come since the first video game was released to games that can now be played entirely in virtual reality. Since everything we experience is simply electrical systems to the brain, what is stopping us from manipulating these signals to enable infrared vision? So,
imagine getting married only to be decapitated by your husband 3 months later. 21-year-old couple Jared and Angie got married in October 2022. Around 4 p.m. on the 11th of January, police were called to their home in Texas. Police made a grim discovery in the pair's bathroom after finding, quote, what appeared to be the head of the victim to be in the shower, end quote. Angie's body was discovered on the floor near the bed in a pool of blood with multiple stab wounds to her back. It was actually Jared's poor parents that initially made this discovery after entering the home. They then obviously alerted police to what they found. Jared was arrested and has confessed to killing his wife with a kitchen knife. Jared was actually captured on CCTV, casually stealing a bottle of beer from Angie's workplace just minutes after it's believed that he killed her. Angie's friends have reported to police that the couple's relationship was toxic and Jared was very controlling. Jared's bond is currently set at $500,000.
$500,000. Her head was found in a shower. That's wicked, brother.
We got you. We got you.
Oh boy. Linda Collins Smith and Becky O'Donnell were best friends. Smith was actually an Arkansas state senator and was trying to get reelected, and her good friend Rebecca was working for her as a campaign aide in 2018. But it didn't work out. She lost the election. In June of 2019, Linda's dad, son, and daughter decided to drop by her house and do a wellness check because no one had heard from her in a good week or so, and that just wasn't like her. When they entered the house, they saw what they thought was coffee stains on the kitchen floor, but it wasn't until they went back outside when the son just kind of catches something right there in the driveway.
So we came to do a wellness check at her house. I think I found a body.
It was Linda wrapped in a tarp. She'd clearly been pretty viciously attacked with a knife. Now cut to the day of Linda's funeral. As everybody is driving over to attend the ceremony, police are zeroing in on a suspect. You see, Linda's house was decked out in security cameras. Unfortunately, all the cameras were destroyed, but the police soon discover that, oh, some of the footage is backed up, which leads them to this.
Oh.
Yep, the supposed good friend Becky tried to destroy all the cameras after she did what she did. Even tried to take one of them that she didn't know was still alive, one, beautifully capturing that upward shot of her tucking the knife into her purse. Also, this is not a ghost, unfortunately. Now back to the funeral. Becky and her husband are driving there, and just before they make it there, they get pulled out of their car at gunpoint, and they take Becky in.
You're under the risk for the murder, Linda. You understand that?
We got you.
We got you.
We got video.
You didn't erase them all.
Why did she do it? Apparently, behind Linda's back, Rebecca was stealing thousands of dollars worth of these gold coins and other valuables that Linda had, and upon finding this out, she confronted her friend Becky about it, and an attack ensued. Just a few months into her stint in the slammer, Becky was caught trying to hire a bunch of soon-to-be-released inmates to whack the judge, prosecutor in her case, and Linda Smith's ex-husband and his new wife. If there was ever a case for solitary confinement.
We got you.
Last month, Samuel Clemens, a University of Missouri student, went missing, and 20-year-old Emma Adams has just been charged with his murder. On January 10th, Samuel's mom contacted the MU Police Department, concerned after not hearing from him, and she asked them to conduct a welfare check. When they arrived at his dorm on campus at around 5:30 p.m., he wasn't there. Authorities then pieced together a timeline of his last movements via security footage, his university swipe card, and Uber, which they had found he had taken the night before. That, along with Samuel's last cell phone ping, led them to a house in North Columbia on the 2400 block of Bentley Court. When authorities arrived, Emma Adams opened the door. According to her, she had just woken up, but she invited the MUPD in to search the home and the backyard. Authorities stated that the odor of burning flesh was immediate. After a search of the backyard, authorities found Samuel's, quote, charred, smoldering remains on a mattress in a fire pit. His broken cell phone was then found in a sink full of water in the kitchen. According to a probable cause statement, Emma initially denied knowing anything about Samuel, but she eventually confessed to killing him. She stated that Samuel was beating her, so she stabbed him with a knife in self-defense, but she made no mention of why she burned his body in the backyard before falling asleep. Authorities also found a bloody pocket knife in the kitchen of the home, backing up her statement. Emma was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, in which she has since pleaded not guilty. She's also facing additional charges such as armed criminal action, tampering with physical evidence, and abandonment of a corpse. She's being held at the Boone County Jail on a $1 million cash-only bond and will reappear in court on February 16th. Samuel was 21 years old and on the autism spectrum. He was also a sophomore at MU studying biological sciences.
Right, y'all, watch Stanley Kubrick admitting something huge.
I perpetrated a huge fraud involving the United States government and NASA. And I'm sure you heard the rumors. That's right. That the moon landing was fake. Moon landings all were fake. And I was the person who filmed it.
Did he really just admit that? But with that being said, guys, that was the video. Let me know what you thought about these creepy TikToks in the comments below. And until next time, man, y'all take care of yourself.